Let's talk about these Mandela effects.
We found some new ones. Like I said, we've done them a lot, but it's hard to find new ones we haven't covered. We did find some on a YouTube channel called 42 Seconds of Horror.
The very first Mandela effect I do want to go ahead and talk about is the American eagle. Now, if you were like me and thought that the American bald eagle was the United States national bird for centuries, ever since the 1700s, well, we both were wrong. Because
We both remember being told that the bald eagle was the national bird, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I can remember the teacher telling me about it, or telling the class about it, vividly.
I remember two things. So I had one of the sticker books that were very popular back in the 80s. I had a sticker book that had patriotic, they had all different kinds, versions and whatever, but I remember a patriotic one where you had to lick the back of it and stick in the book, and there was the U.S. bird, the bird of the USA, the flag of the USA, the this of the USA, and that was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And the second thing I remember is learning a bit of trivia about the national bird and about how Ben Franklin had wanted to make it a turkey at first. And then they voted, whoever it was, whatever bird committee, voted that out. And we're like, no, the eagle is what it is because it's...
I got that exact same bit of trivia, yeah, about Ben Franklin and wanted the turkey because he thought it was majestic. But instead, I don't know, maybe George Washington overruled him or somebody and says, it's going to be the bald eagle, man.
Yeah.
That turkey is pretty majestic. And you, hit like and subscribe, turkeys.
Right.
Jive, turkeys. All right, Margie. This next one is about a painting. You're more of an art historian than I am, so I'll bow to your remembrance of this one. But I do remember it, I guess, wrong. I'm in the wrong universe, I say, but apparently I'm wrong about this painting.
With your mind being the steel trap that it is, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Mandela effect on the list really weirded me out, and it has to do with the 1930 oil painting American Gothic
There's a 90-year-old
by
woman
American
behind that
artist
blur.
Grant Wood.
I guarantee it.
For most of us that remember this painting, we know
She's
of this
looking
older
straight
gentleman
ahead.
here holding this pitchfork, and standing right next to him is his older wife with gray hair in a bun, also facing
Might
forward.
be in her
You can
hundreds.
probably imagine that right now, but apparently
woman
that is
alive,
never
I
how the
believe.
painting looked.
Haggard.
Saying
Ah!
that this older gentleman is a much younger
Look at
woman
that young
who
beauty.
happens to be his daughter. No longer is it his wife. What is even more interesting is that out
All
of
right,
nowhere,
so we've
this
talked about this one. Can you tell me what you remember about this? Because you do remember it correctly, right?
I do. I know that this was kind of controversial before. I knew it was, something. And actually, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that this artist actually clarified because so many people did get it wrong. They thought that he had painted the farmer and his wife, and it is actually his daughter. And I believe that they ran their actual photograph in the paper along with the painting to show like this was the farmer and the daughter that he painted.
Here is something interesting about this one. Kind of. I ran this one through Reddit, as one does, to see what people are saying. And someone had posted that this one really got to them, and they had found proof that this used to be an older woman looking forward. Here, and here, with all links. Every one of those links. This picture, this video, no longer available. Ooh.
Well.
Probably, I'm remembering a parody, because I know there are a lot of parodies about this. So that's probably what I remember more than the original and that's probably what a lot of people remember.
Possibly.
Honestly. Yeah.
Possibly.
Because I think there was a Warner Brothers cartoon or something where, whatever.
Or maybe it was that bird committee we were talking about.
Yeah.
George Washington was on.
The Illuminati and the Bird Committee, the two groups that are ruling the world.
That's right.
This one freaks me the fudge out. Freaks my brother-in-law out when I told him about it. It's going to freak you people out, you old school gamers. Take a listen to this.
This next creepy Mandela effect, almost everybody had an original Nintendo. If you did not own one, you knew somebody that did. One of the things that I specifically remember about the original Nintendo is that in order to play a game, you had to open up the lid, you had to push the game in, of course, and then you had to press the game down and press the power button on. that was the only way to get a game to start. Now, there were other iterations of the NES that were created where you did not have to do this, but apparently, come to find out, you never had to do this in any version of the NES system. This is perhaps one of the creepiest Mandela effects to me besides the CERN one, because I remember this like it was yesterday.
I do too. I can remember blowing on that cartridge, pushing it in there, pushing it down, turning it on, still not working, pushing it out to get it to come back out, pulling it out, blowing on it again, which I don't care what they say, that worked about 50% of the time.
Sure it did.
Sticking it back in, pushing it down. Yeah, this one, I'm with this fella. I remember this clearly.
I do too. You could not. I remember clearly having a system that would not work unless you engaged it by pushing it down.
Yeah.
And sometimes we did that with extreme force, depending on how many times we put that sucker in there before.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you always had to push it down. I thought this kind of blew my mind.
Yeah. There's a whole song about it. Push it real good. If you remember that one?
Yeah.
Salt and Pepper.
Very famous.
Now they say that song's about something else, but that's how I remember it.
No, it was about the Nintendo Entertainment System.
We've responded to a video from this lady before who talked about Ed McMahon. That's when we found out that he had been deleted, actually.
Okay.
This time, she's saying that they've deleted Richard Simmons' headband and I guess the sweatbands you put around your wrist.
Right.
I don't feel super strongly about this one. Although I do remember him with the headband.
I do.
Right.
I do feel a little bit strongly about this one. And yes, they did delete it. Look at our very own your very own Funko
That's true, yeah.
of Richard
Wait until
Simmons.
she finds out Richard Simmons never wore a headband. Stop. What do you think they did? Like, went through the whole internet and scrubbed every photo of Richard Simmons ever wearing a headband? That's crazy.
Now, what's your theory?
Okay. My theory is this, and I think it's backed up by these photos.
Okay.
If you notice in these photos, he is a little bit older in each one.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was wearing a headband when he was uber popular in the 80s and when he did his exercise videos.
Okay.
And I think he phased that out of his look after a while. And we were then with this Richard Simmons and this Richard Simmons that did not have the headband because he was like, that's not cool anymore. I'm phasing that out.
And you think that there just so happens to be no pictures anywhere on the internet of this 80s Richard Simmons?
Maybe it was like a bad thing for him and he was like, you know what?
Wake up, woman, it was CERN!
You mean they deleted his headband?
Yes!
Just like they deleted Ed McMahon.
Yes!
God
They're in
bless
the
America.
same place now. What celebrity do you remember handing out big $1 million checks going door to door?
Ed McMahon.
Wrong. Watch this.
Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. And if you won, Ed McMahon came to your house with balloons and a big check and gave you a bunch of money. And now everyone in the world is trying to tell us that that never happened.
So you're telling me there was no Ed McMahon?
I remember Ed McMahon giving out those checks clearly.
I do too. Balloons.
We're
Confetti.
wrong. All of Generation X is wrong.
Hey everyone, it's Howie from The Prize Patrol with a fun fact that may surprise you. Did you know that the late Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse?
CERN did it again. They smashed the atom and deleted Ed McMahon.
Hey-o!
You would actually walk up to people's doorsteps and give them the check?
Oh, yeah. It's a wonderful feeling, you know, to give somebody $1 million.
All joking aside, this one freaks me out.
Okay.
I was a big Bible reader as a kid. Why? Because we had Bible trivia every Sunday in Sunday school, and if you won, you got a candy bar, and I was very food motivated as a child.
I'm still food motivated.
I'm pretty food motivated myself. And so I would always win, and I just remember this verse. Everyone remembers it this way, just about. This is the freakiest one to me.
Okay.
You ready for this thing?
Maybe.
Is that there are also biblical Mandela effects as well. People are noticing that there are certain parts of the Bible that have been changing as well. For instance, this video comes from Grace Unfiltered on TikTok.
If you've ever went to church or read the Bible, you might have remembered a certain portion of scripture where it's talking about the paradise and that there would be a specific animal laying next to the lamb. If you're like me, that animal that would be laying next to the lamb, it's none other than a lion. I not only remember reading this, but I've taught about it. But guess what? That ain't what the scripture says. It's a wolf. A wolf shall dwell with the lamb.
That won me at least
When
one candy
did that
bar.
ever happen? When?
That ain't right.
Reciting it as the lion won you the candy bar, right?
Yes. The lion shall lay down with the lamb.
Okay.
Everybody knows it. It's famous.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand. The only explanation for that I could come up with, and it's thin, is that well, I don't know whether it's thin or not. You tell me. Is that there have been published several versions of the Bible.
That makes sense, and that would make sense. A lot of things have been changed, words and translation. All we used at my church was the King James Version, and that's all anybody I knew back then used. It was, quote unquote, the official version for, like, the Southern Baptist or the Pentecostals or whoever. And it was the lion shall lay down with the lamb. There was no wolf.